Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, and a happy new year. So, Luna had a rough night last night because of all firecrackers. She does not enjoy the fireworks. She doesn't understand why we would want to blow things up like that. She was taken aback. We did give her a little, the vets give us a little pill that kind of relaxes her a little bit. So, we gave her a pill and then she kind of cuddled close to us. So didn't enjoy it, even with the pill, but we muddled through and we got through a rough night dealing with a little girl. So since it's New Year's, I want to talk about uh, goals versus patterns. Let's talk through a few examples of that. So um, let's say you want to lose weight. Uh, One of the things you might do is say, I want to lose 10 pounds by May. So by the summer, I'm down 10 pounds. Hmm. Sorry, I have to get my morning started with some coffee here. Hope you have something. Get your morning started. Even in this new year, we all have to get the morning started. So that's a goal is 10 pounds by May. Problem with goals is it's hard for them to work out. Governments are really bad at this. They'll produce a goal. Um, New Zealand, which is one of the, in my limited exposure to foreign government, a good government that does a pretty good job of governing itself, tried to make goals for uh, green or carbon production limitations. And it failed at them. They admitted their failure and they've come back and do it again. But they made the goals before they had all the facts. And they realized that's one of the big problems that happens with a lot of this government stuff is they say we're going to do X. And X, how do you do it? How much will it cost? What's the what is the pathway to keeping meeting X without destroying the economy or causing a bunch of people to go into poverty? What is it? And those tough talks that have to happen usually don't until after the goal has been agreed to. And then you turn around and say, well, that's the goal. We got to get to it. But it doesn't make any sense. So let's talk about some goals. Let's talk about weight. A lot of people want to lose 10 pounds. We're an overweight country. I'm overweight. Uh, so there's two things that you might look at. One is caloric intake, and the other is caloric uh, burning calories. So Luna and I just took a walk, and we took a nice long walk. She actually, I was afraid she would be a little hesitant about taking a walk. She had such a rough night. But when she got out on the walk, she actually prompted me to go further than she had before. It almost seemed like she was needing a little bit of, can we get back to something that's a nice thing to erase some of that rough patch that we had last night. So I took her on a little bit longer walk. I'd say about a third longer than usual. So funny thing is, it's more than we used to have a path that we took quite quite a bit, and it was the path you kind of got very used to, and now she's moved up past that. If you go from that original path to where we are now, we've more than doubled our walking since then. So you can tell she's enjoying throwing a ball. It's a little more exercise for her than it is for me. So walking burns calories. I saw one video guy recommended 10,000 steps a day to burn calories. Walking something most people can do. My wife cannot, but most people can do it. She can walk, but going on a walk can be really hard on her. So, okay, where was I? So, instead of saying 10 pounds and by May, a better thing to do would be to say, I need to increase my steps. Now, how do I do that? So that's what you don't just say, I'm going to do more steps or do like that guy say, 10, I'm going to do 10,000 steps. Don't do that. Don't do the goal. Say, how do I do it? One, find a good way to measure it. I have a little app on my phone. Very pleased with it. It not only measures my steps, doesn't use up a lot of my battery. That's important. Uh, I've worked for companies that have used phones for motion detection, and the cheap way is to just use your GPS location. Using GPS location will burn through your battery fairly quickly. Gosh, that's a good catch, Luna. Um, if you, so it's good. It doesn't seem to burn through my battery very quickly. I can leave it running all the time, and it really doesn't zap my battery that much. So they've had some good software engineers in that one. Um, they use the accelerometers that are in the phone itself. There's a lot of things you can do, and accelerometers use almost no energy at all. They oftentimes are on all the time as well. It's the accelerometers are used for determining that you had flipped your phone and moved it around. So almost all phones have it as well. So the app will tell me how many steps I'm taking. So if the app is telling me how many steps I'm taking, now the question is, how do I add steps to my daily life? Well, it's hard to do when I go to work sorry, it's hard to take Luna on a walk before I go to work because I leave very early in the morning. So at work, I have to add different techniques, patterns that pushes me to uh, do things. One of the things that I've often done is use, I think it's called a Pareto timer. It's a timer where you work for 15, 20 minutes and then you take a break. And you work, break, work, break. And the timer chimes at you to let you know when you're past your break or you're done with your work. The nice thing about it is if your work allows stuff like that, then you could work, take your break, and the break doesn't mean you go outside and smoke a cigarette. It can just be not focused on what your task is. And that may mean just walking around. Just walk down, talk to somebody, see how they're doing, see how life is, see how the project's going. You just communicate. Still work related, but you just move around. That takes steps. There you go. Add some steps. See how many steps that brings in. Those patterns to build the steps is nice. And then you have the tool there that measures the steps. And you can kind of see overall how your pattern does. One of the things I used to love this pattern, uh, I think is the zone diet. This is a very simple pattern that the zone diet guys had, and it works very well for uh, eating the right foods. So one of the things that the zone diet pushed was a you should eat a meal that satisfies you for at least 4 hours. So one of the things they would recommend you do, uh, Luna seems to be excited about something. Uh, oh, she sees one of her friends next door, it looks like. Friend, as in, let me bark at you quite a bit. That friend. All right. So that pattern of eat a meal and set a clock. 4 hours later, you should not be wanting to eat. It should satisfy you for 4 hours. So it also has some nice patterns to it, like uh, the meat should go in your hand, whatever meat you're eating, and the vegetables will go in your hand twice. So I didn't follow that pattern as much because it was a little confusing for me about what would go into a palm of a hand. But the other thing, I used it successfully. I actually lost quite a bit of weight using that pattern. Um, the thing is to set these goals. So here, I'll talk to you about one of the patterns I'm thinking about changing. Right now, I get up at 5:30 in the morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The reason I get up at 5:30 is because I go to work and I want to get on the road before a lot of traffic happens. So if I get up at 5:30 and leave around 6:15, the pathway I take, there's traffic. It's not like it's not, but it flows, it doesn't get jammed up a lot. So there's not a lot of what they call standstill traffic. It does move. So I'm able to get to work in about 30 minutes. So 5:30 allows me to do that. But on Tuesday and Friday, I work from home. So I usually get up at 6:30. I usually get up at 6:30 on weekends as well, just because Luna likes it when I get up at 6:30. So 5:30 3 days, 6:30 the other days. And I'm wondering if I could get up a little earlier on the non-work days. If I could change that pattern from 6:30 to 6. Now, 6:30 to 6 would be nice because we have 6:30 to 6 would mean I don't have a 30-minute difference. Now, Luna can help me get up. Now, the problem I run into sometimes is I love to take walks with her when it's sunny out. And so you get a little bit of, if you get up at 6:30, by the time we actually start to take a walk, which is around 7, you got the twilight coming up. It's a lot nicer out. But maybe that'll encourage me more to take her on afternoon walks. She was really skittish when I first got her, and she is much better now about taking walks. And I'm wondering if I could take her in afternoons before dinner or evening, just before dinner, take her for another walk. Uh, it would encourage me to do that because, you know, during the summertime it wouldn't be a problem because the sun comes up more. So twilight comes very early. Anyway, so there you go. That's patterns versus goals. So when you're doing your New Year's resolutions, which I'm still working on mine, like I said, I'm thinking about the getting up early and taking her for evening walks and a few things I want to do that may increase the number of steps that I take. Adding all those things together, I'm thinking there might be some good patterns to do this year. But patterns, not numbers, not goals, patterns. And then, like I said, they can be highly effective. I still love that zone diet. I might do that one again. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. We will talk to you later. Bye for now.